The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Well, we're heading towards 23,000 now in the Dow, it looks like, folks. We'll cover Tesla here in a minute, but we'll start out with the DAX index like we usually do. We put the hourly chart to show you, how things are going, and we'll keep a close eye on that one, too. We've had some type of a major top form. If we take a look at the weekly chart here in the DAX, you'll see we topped about 6 weeks ago, and we're in the midst of this ABCD pattern that we've been talking about over the past few days that you can see clearly with the hourly chart. Now, I think the biggest thing that happened last night, of course, was early this morning when the British pound announced that, the Bank of England announced there was not going to be much of a change, and you can see what happened. We had some beautiful ABCD patterns up there at that 132.70 level. We immediately broke about 60 pips, and then it continued to go down. It's down a little more than 150 pips right now, but with that wide range bar, that pretty much tells us that, we're looking at something, we got a caller, yippee, from one of my favorite states, South Carolina. Rudy, are you there?
Good morning, Larry.
Good morning. What can I help you with?
You was talking about moon effect coming up August the 7th. And, I was in touch with Dr. Roof several years ago, and that's how your name came up, and I got several of your books.
Okay.
But I don't have much information about astronomy. The only thing I have is her book on, that she put out on coin trade.
Mm-hmm.
What effect does the moon phase has on not only on commodities but stocks in the indexes?
Well, the only thing that I can see, Rudy, is I watch this. It's a 14-day cycle, from the new moon, and then you go on to the full moon. It's like 20. They're every 14 days. You'll see one or the other. So every 28 days you're going to see a new moon. Every 28 days you're going to see a full moon. So there's that 14-day cycle, and I mark that, on my charts to watch for it. But remember, it could be a day early or 2 days early, 2 days later. So you've got a big band in there. The only thing that you can really do is to, find a price level that you're comfortable with around that time frame. So like we're coming into Monday, I'm looking at a really strong time frame, especially in the grains, because the grains are affected more than any other commodity that I can tell with the full moons and new moons. The stocks do too, but for me, the easiest part are the grain and the currencies. They're easier than stocks. Why, I don't know, but that's the way that there is. If you want some more information on it, you can go online and pick up a lot of information on moon phases. There's probably 30, there's got to be way more than that, different websites where they'll talk about it. But they'll give you some more information. But when you get to that point, the problem is you have to have a price to get in, and that's where the patterns and the Fibonacci ratios, try to help.
Okay. Do you use Gartley more so on that for that pattern?
Yes, absolutely. Gartley's and butterflies are very good also, and also the ABCD patterns are very good. So you have three patterns there to look at that fit together, and we have some of that going on right now. A little bit later in the show, I'm going to be showing the soybean chart that we've been watching. In fact, I'll do this, right after you and I are done discussing this, because it'll give you a give you a good idea of where we stand.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Glad to get in and talk to you.
Rudy, it's good to talk to you anytime, and you sure had a lot of fun with Dr. Miller. She was a class act under anybody's.
You're correct.
Yeah. Okay. We'll be right back, and we're going to put up the soybean chart right now that we've been talking about yesterday. Hey, thanks for calling in, Rudy. I really appreciate it. Call in anytime, okay?
All right. Have a good week.
You too, my friend. Okay, here, folks, here's this November bean chart over the last 6 weeks. As you can see, we had the high up there at that 1040 level. We had the big breakdown to 993. Then we had the second part of the weather market up at 1036. And you see those ABCD patterns. They're completing. They've already completed, but if you'll notice that we have a full moon and lunar eclipse on Monday, and the 61% retracement is 960. Well, we hit 958.5. In the soybeans this morning, so I have to wait until Monday. I know it's getting close because we're still 4 days away. That's too far for me. So you have tomorrow, which is Friday. So Friday would be a little bit closer, but I will probably wait till Monday. If I have to buy it a little bit stronger, then maybe I will do it. But I do want to wait until that full moon and eclipse is out of the way. I feel that strongly about it. One of the books on my desk here is that book, The New Evolution of Technical Analysis by Dr. Andrew Lowe out of MIT. The first 50 pages of that book discusses astrology, that they were the very first technicians. And so the timing will be pretty much spot on come on Monday. So that's what I'm looking at. The wheat that we were watching at, it is now 2 cents below the level that we're going to be looking at. So that's the main thing. Okay, I've been asked to talk a little bit about that GB British pound chart. Folks, that's the one we talked about just the other day. We were talking about the euro, the yen, and the British pound. And the British pound had two major ABCD patterns there. As you can see, it's just as smart as, let's put this up again and we'll take a look at it. But this is mother, God, and country stuff, folks. This is what you really like to see. If you'll take a look at this, you'll see you had two major ABCD patterns there, just as clear as a bell, up there at that 132.50 to 60 level. And now, it's started down, and we've already completed the BC swing that we had during the middle of July. So this market is going to make a major correction in here, it looks like. So we'll see if that's the main thing. Bob, are you asking about the coffee? Is that what I will have time for it, but is that what you're asking about? Because I wrote a note and guess what? The note disappeared. I'll take care of that. We've only got a minute to the next break, so I'll take care of that right after the break, and then we'll have Norm Winsky on at the long break, because he's really got some really terrific stuff going on. So I think it's important to listen to what Norm has to say. Now, there's a couple of stocks that are in the news, of course, one of which is Tesla, and I do want to bring this up to let you see what we're seeing in Tesla right now. We'll put this up so we'll be able to see it. This is the hourly chart on Tesla. And you'll notice here that midnight last night, we hit the high of 355. We're now trading around 346. That was a 1.27 expansion of the move from the end of July to the early August. And then we've had, of course, that's a big gap in there, folks. That's what happened after hours. And then it hit the exact 618 retracement from the 380 level down to the 300 level. It hit it spot on to the exact tick. So Tesla should have completed this pattern. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back with coffee.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profile So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're going to take a look at the coffee market for Bob in Spokane, where it must be hotter than Hades up there from what I see in the news. I saw Oregon hit over 100 degrees, and so did parts of Washington. I mean, that's just unheard of. Anyway, if you'll take a look at this coffee chart, which I have not traded since 1974, which is, 43 years? Yeah, 100 degrees in Spokane. That's just, boy, the soybean crop must be in trouble there, except that they don't grow soybeans. Anyway, you'll notice the coffee, it's very technically okay. I just don't like to trade coffee. When I was a little shaver, my grandma used to feed oatmeal to me, and she says, whenever you have the what do you want to see? Whenever you have the urge to trade coffee, go lay down on the couch till the urge goes away. It's not unusual for Utah to hit 100 degrees because you got high desert up in there. But anyway, let's get back to the coffee. That's a very nice chart. What you want to be watching here, Bob, you have two major ratios here at the close. You got a 61% retracement spot on from the one 3 months ago, and you're also just a little above the 78% level at the 0.84, and then you'll be able, that's the square root of 0.707, of course. But if you look at that very closely, you'll see that there are two major ratios there with a couple of ABCD patterns. So if you'll watch it, you'll be much better off. Speaking of Utah, we have a brand new beautiful Mormon temple here in Tucson. It is exactly 900 miles due south of Salt Lake City. It is really spectacular. It's closed to the public now. We were able to see it for the first month. It was open to the public, and it is really a beautiful place with all the beautiful artifacts that it have in it. But anyway, it's really amazing that it's situated exactly due south of the Salt Lake City temple. So we'll keep an eye on that just for the end of days. You always want to have a lot of Mormon friends, folks, because they stock their food. So if you ever get hungry during bad times, they might feed you. So that's my all. Yes, I did get in to see it, and it was really quite nice. So we took our 93-year-old neighbor Kelly, who has a very strong interest in the Mormon faith, even though he's not Mormon, and we really enjoyed it. We spent a couple hours there looking at it, and we got to see the Mormon movie and stuff. So it was very good. Let's get on to everything. We've already covered the Tesla. Let's test the gold in here, folks. This is what happened last night in the gold. We had a nice pullback in gold, as you can see here, down to the 1262 level, down exactly $17 from the high, and from there we rally all the way up to the 1273 level today. That could make this a 135 pattern. I still think we're in a bear market in gold. Anything above that 1285 level will certainly be wrong, but that's what it's looking like. That way, and we'll see if this is what it looks like on a little bit shorter time frame. This is the 15-minute chart, and I'll put the bonds up in just a little bit here, but the bonds have a lot of resistance at 155 still. I don't know if it's going to, break through there or not, but the bonds and notes are acting totally differently. The notes are still in a bear market. The bonds have a tendency to take out that 155 level, and if they do, that would certainly change that parameter in that. So what I will do on the bonds is I will post those right before the break when we have Norm Winsky on in about 8 minutes is what I'll do with that one. The other one that looks very interesting, folks, is the euro. And I want to put this up here to let you take a look at it here. This is the euro over the last 5 days. And if you'll notice here that we've been in this really strong uptrend line, the problem is we haven't rallied very much. And even after the Bank of England, did their thing, the euro didn't rally very much at all as yet. It's still a little bit early, but that's another one that looks very, very interesting. Because if we don't get moving here, this means that we could, because we completed that big ABCD pattern that you can see there, that means if we broke below that 78% level at the 118.10 level, it would tell us most probably that trend is getting ready to turn down, at least for the short term, and then we'll see if it's going to meet that. I've got another question about the soybeans, folks. I just have to wait until Monday on the soybeans. I know maybe they take off from here. The pattern is perfect, but I really believe in these lunar cycles in the grains. Dr. Miller hounded that into me, and I saw the statistics on it. It's better to wait. That's the bottom line. So I'm waiting. I want to see what happens to it, but there's not much else to say other than that. Now, I have a really interesting chart here about one of the favorite stocks in the group here, which is Apple Computing going back. I don't think it's Cat Computing anymore. I guess it's Apple Telephone Company. But here's an Apple going back just about when it first started trading back in 1982. I think that's when it was. Yeah, about 82 is when it first started trading. You can see here the big ABCD pattern that we have going on, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is spot on, 3 drive to a top pattern. Whether we get to this high, the 1618 retracement or expansion there came in at 162.40, but the 1.27 came in at 160, and we already saw that yesterday. So maybe this is the top in Apple, maybe it isn't. We really don't know. We'll have to find out what is happening. No, Duffy, we will have a full moon and lunar eclipse on Monday, the 7th of August. And then 14 days later, we will have a lunar eclipse, a solar eclipse, on a new moon on the 21st of August. Norm will cover that for us at the break, I'm sure, because if you've never had Norm's letter before, folks, I think this would be the month to get it, because he's got so much great information and so much is happening that we ought to pay a little attention to it, because some of these things that he's hit are really, really spot on. And you want to be able to take advantage of it, because some of it is really exciting. Doesn't work all the time, but when it doesn't work, you're not risking very much, and that's the whole key, to some of the things that we watch here. That's the bottom line. I wanted to bring out one other chart too, if you'll give me a second here, which is Facebook. I just want to show you what's been happening to Facebook on a log scale. This comes from our good friend Jim Bartolioni from V50 Partners, and you can see here that this has been following this log chart pretty nicely ever since it first came out. The interesting one is if you look at that where it was down 29.81%, that was the first ABCD Gartley that we had after the initial price offering. Remember, it dropped 60% after its original price offering. And of course, it went up a little bit after that. But it's really interesting that chart is really lining up. These are long-term charts, folks, and sometimes I don't look at those very often, but Bart is a master at looking at those, and I try to keep an eye on those as far as what is happening with them, and it certainly looks very, very interesting. We're going to have Norm here in just a few minutes, and I will post the chart of the Treasury bond market here so that you'll be able to see it in just a second before Norm comes in, and then I'll also do the let's just do that bond chart right now, and we'll get it up here so you can see it. It just completed a really nice little ABCD up here, and we'll get it ready. 877-927-6648. Stay tuned for Norm Winski.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we've got a special guest today, Norm Winski of Astro Trends out of Florida. Norm, how are you today?
Great, Larry. Thanks for having me on your show.
Hey, thanks for being on. I know you've got some really great information today, so why don't you just start on? I've got page 1 set up, and take your time. We've got the whole rest of the time, so just fire away.
All righty. Well, I thought we'd do a little overview of the big events coming up. The reason I asked you come on your show now is because last night we had a big planetary event. Uranus turned retrograde. For the new people, I will go over that quickly, what that means. due to the relative, on the throat clearing there, due to the relative motion of the Earth, just like if you're driving in your car and you're doing 60, and somebody passes you doing 70, even though your speedometer says you're doing 60, if you glance out your window, you might get the impression that you're going backwards by 10 miles an hour. So that's like all the planets are going around the sun at different speeds. So if we look out at another planet, if we plot that for a while, you might notice occasionally that it will look like there's the key word, it appears to stop its motion and then reverse its direction. That happened, and the biggest deal, that's if you've been listening to me for any period of time on your show, Larry, then you know that this is one of my top things. If you don't ever talk to me, this will be one of the top things I tell you can use to forecast the markets. It has a very good batting average. So when the planets change trend, the markets change trend. The best of this is some of the best of my stuff, and the best of the best are the outer planets. When that's from Jupiter on out, these are the big, long, slow moving cycles, long moving planets. And so when they do something, then they have longer, bigger cycles, So Uranus, yes, sir.
Norm, you mentioned many months ago that's one of the reasons why you're so good with the Bradley model is the outer planets and retrograde motion. Is that still correct?
Yeah. Well, the advancement I made on the Bradley style model is, I think I made some major advancements on forecasting when the Bradley model, then the planetary energy is going to flip. It flips back and forth, as you probably are aware, Larry, right? So you're going along and it's forecasts the market great, and then all of a sudden, poof, it's upside down. I'm sure you've had that happen before, right?
I'm upside down just about every day, buddy, so that I'm familiar with, so go ahead.
There you go. I was, in the past life, I was Australian, so I was upside down then.
Okay.
All right, so anyway, here we go. So Uranus turned retrograde last night. All major planetary activity corresponds to the stock market, because the stock market is a big basket of everything, but commodities tend to be narrow filters, like a radio tuner. You have to tune to that frequency to get to that commodity, that market. So Uranus has to do with copper, for example, and so we want to watch for you. I think you put a copper chart up earlier, at least you've been talking about it the last day or two. And we're going to be going over these individual markets here in a few minutes, but I thought I'd do just kind of an overview here. So anyway, we'll move ahead. We'll come back to the copper and the stocks in a minute. As you mentioned and tomorrow we have another big planetary event. We have Jupiter is going to form a key 90-degree angle to Pluto. And so you want to watch for Jupiter and Libra. That'll be sugar, if you like sugar, and also wheat. And also, we've been talking about bonds, and that's a key date, key time for bonds tomorrow afternoon. Moving on ahead, on Monday, we'll have we have a lineup between Jupiter and Uranus again. So again, we have the Uranus. So therefore, we're emphasizing copper again. And because Jupiter is in Libra, that's also brings up sugar and wheat. So you want to watch those markets on Monday. And then, of course, Monday afternoon, we had the lunar eclipse. Just to connect a couple dots here for the folks. Lunar eclipse is a special kind of full moon. That's why you might have noticed when there's a lunar eclipse, it's always at a full moon. And the solar eclipse is a special kind of new moon, just so you know. And so anyway, we're going to have a lunar eclipse. And then again, because it's in the sign of Aquarius, that's going to be copper is emphasized again. So something as big as going on here with the copper market over the next few trading days. Then we also have all your grains, your precious metals, and the stock market are all respond to the full moon, new moon phenomena. One little nuance of the lunar eclipse is sometimes on a very short-term basis, like we're talking hours, the lunar eclipse can act like a new moon, and because the moon gets blocked out and looks and sort of acts like a new moon. So you might get, like, if you get a bottom in the grains, for example, they might come down just ahead of the lunar eclipse and then have a bounce into the exact time and then go back down and kind of form maybe an M bottom, that kind of thing, But just a little nuance there that I've noticed over the years, All right, and then on the 8th we have, that's kind of a small one. I just copied this stuff right out of my letter, so I probably shouldn't even. That's a sort of a moderate change in trend there for the oil. Let's see, we had Jupiter. Oh, yeah, this is important, though. The dollar, we're all watching the dollar go down lately, and we got a big date after the close on the 8th Tuesday, which will be important for stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar, with an emphasis on the U.S. dollar. And then later on, this is the one I was thinking about skipping. Anyway, have Jupiter 135 to Neptune. That's kind of a moderate change in trend for oil. And there we go. That's the big ones coming up. And then later on in the month, on the weekend of the 11th, we have Mercury turning retrograde. And that's always interesting, especially for the grains. And especially because it's in the sign Virgo, that emphasizes soybeans. Okay, and then as you mentioned, on the Monday 21st, and by the way, the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse both occur during stock market trading hours. Both are in the 2 o'clock ballpark. The lunar eclipse is at 2:11. The solar eclipse is at 2:31 p.m. All my times are Eastern Daylight Time. So let's move on here now. Speaking of the solar eclipse, I put a map in here. There's a path.
I've got it. I'm going to put it up.
Yes, sir, on page 2. Okay, now this is I'm going to share with you some astrological theory that is literally thousands of years old. This has been developed over thousands of years. And if you go and check past years where there was a solar eclipse and you get this path, you get this map for the path, you will find that many years that there's been a solar eclipse over an area of the earth, of the world, that trouble tends to ensue in the following 6 months. So if you live off this, the path of the eclipse is going right over the middle of the United States this time. And if you live on that path, make sure your insurance is paid up because you might have some problems or something. I don't know what's going to happen. Usually when we get, if it happens over some third world country, they get some kind of rebellion or earthquake or something. Speaking of earthquake, by the way, this thing's going right near the Great New Madrid Fault. If you live anywhere in the in the area here where the Ohio and the Mississippi come together, are we going away?
Yeah, come back and tell us about that thing from back in those days, because I think that's when yeah, we'll be right back. Norm Winsky of Astro Trends.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Trading is different than investing, but the opportunity to take advantage of short-term trends is only one if you get the direction right. Direction leveraged and inverse ETFs offer bold trades on U.S. and international stocks and bonds. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks. We're talking with Norm Winski. Norm, we have a question from one of our listeners, and that is you have a certain day on the 8th on one set of commodities and then another day on the 7th. Do those are they additive? In other words, does that make it more powerful, or how do you handle that?
Not sure of the question.
Okay, in other words, you have a date for stocks on the 7th. You have a date for stocks on the 8th. Just giving an example, does that act like does it act like they add together to make it even more powerful?
Well, sometimes if they're big enough and they overlap, then yes. Otherwise, I would treat them separately.
Mm-hmm. How many days apart? Let's say, do they have to be more than 3 days apart for you to treat them separately?
I don't go that far. I have to be accurate within one plus or minus a day. Or if it does, then if it doesn't work, it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about precision.
Okay, go ahead, buddy.
I want to be right to it the day.
All right. Which chart do you want to go to next?
Well, we're talking about the eclipse. Remember before we went away?
Yep. We still got that.
The New Madrid fault. By the way, this sort of thing, a solar eclipse right across the U.S. is a rare event. The closest event we had like this was in 1918 when we had a similar thing. It was in June of 1918. That happened to correspond to the Spanish flu, which, if you know your history, that was a pandemic. 30 million people died.
Mm-hmm.
So
30 million. That was a lot in that time of the earth, wasn't it?
There's a lot fewer people around in the world, I think. All right, so anyway, and then we have this thing going almost right over the New Madrid Fault, which is, if you live in this area here, in the southern Illinois, Missouri, Tennessee area here, you should know, I hope you know, that there's a big seismic fault right there, near just a little bit west, I think, of where the Ohio meets the Mississippi. And back in 1811, there was a giant earthquake there. I think they're saying that it would have been, if they had the Richter scale back there, it probably was about a 7.9, and it was so big it changed the course of the Mississippi River. It's named after the little town of New Madrid, which at the time was on the banks of the Mississippi, and after the earthquake, that little town of New Madrid was in the Mississippi, and so.
Wow. Okay, we've got a caller from Pennsylvania. Marie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm not from Pennsylvania. I'm from New York, Manhattan. Hi, Larry. This is Maria.
Oh, hi, Marie. How are you?
I'm good. I have a question for Norm, if I may, and thank you very much for trying to liaise for me. It's just Norm. Hi. I was just wondering if you can explain to me. You have a major turn in stocks as of last night. And then at the close on the 8th, you have another major turn. And then on the 7th as well, you have a major turn. So I don't understand if it means that you think, for example, let's say we have the highs today or last night.
Well, you got the big ones, like the station points will also often give you the high or the low of the month. And then we have other events that will give you little short-term zigzags. The lunar eclipse, the stock market does not like lunar eclipses and it works about 75% of the time to give you, on average, a drop of about 1.75% within one trading day of the lunar eclipse. So we'll probably get a bad day around Monday there, and then maybe we could bounce back up, make a retest on one of these other dates, and if this turns out to be the high here, this could turn out to be the high of the month. And I also have a bigger, longer term. Also have a longer term forecast model, which says this could be the high of the year. So so that's why it's important for people that contact me right away. I have a narrow window here in August where I can. I'll be talking about that in a minute. I have a free class. You can get the letter, get a free class. So looking forward to hearing from you, Maria.
I will. Thank you very much.
All right, so let's get back here so the people don't lose their houses in the Mississippi River. And so just so you know, we have the New Madrid Fault there, and these eclipses have a history of sometimes precipitating seismic activity, other types of natural disasters, and so forth. So make sure your insurance is paid up. Okay, if you want to know more, give me a call. We're running a little short on time here, I think. I want you to know that my methodology involves that I don't pick which markets to look at. The planets do. That's a good thing. The less I think, the better we will do.
Thank you very much.
And thanks a minute for being here, Maria. Give me a call after we're done here. All right. So anyway, there we go. So I add up the planetary energy, rank the markets, and with this helps assure that we'll be trading where the action is. You want to be where the action is. You don't want to be trading in a market that's sleeping. All right, so moving on here now. Here's your stock market, and this may help answer Maria's questions. Just a quick review. Back in July, my two biggest dates were around the 11th and then the 21st, and you can see on the chart here, this is a result chart I had in my letter, which went out last Sunday. And you can see that this low right there, right around there, was the 11th. That's when I said the market would chop around and then take a trend as around the 11th, and that's what happened. And we had a pullback around the 21st. That was a weekend, and then we had a little low there, and then we went up into the end of the month. Moving on ahead here now, we have, here's the forecast for August. By the way, back in July there, when I was on your show, I mentioned some classic harmonic technical analysis, where if you take a range and then you break that range, different harmonics or multiples of that range can project future turning points. Well, guess what? If we take the drop from the October high of 2007 to the March 6th low of 2009, that's 910 points. If we multiply that times 2, add that to the low of 666 on March the 6th, you get 2487. We got to 2484 a few days back. So I think it was like last week. And so we're approaching that area. I have some other things that say that this is a Gann technique now, where you do time and price, where you see what ratio of time to price the market is moving at, and it's been moving, in my opinion, at a ratio of time 1.236 to 1 price. And so that would project when the time and price come together, which is a big deal for Gann, time and price coming together, projects for this coming weekend, which is halfway between the Uranus station point, that's what it's called when the planet stops its motion momentarily before it turns, and the Monday's lunar eclipse. So a lot of stuff is pointing at this time and this price area here. And then I got another thing, just in case I was playing with this, and just in case we took out 2487, what would be the next big number? Well, Gann thought that square numbers, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 is a square number, 50 squared is 2500. That's the next magic number based on Gann theory. And so if we do the time thing for that, guess what? That projects to the Monday, August 21 solar eclipse. I think that's totally amazing. So anyway, there's our S&P short-term chart here. You can see how we're channeling here. And here's the magic level right up there. There's 2487, that little red line right there. And so if we don't have to get there, we got within $3 last week, but it would be ideal if we could get there in the next day or so, and then top out and maybe have a big down on Monday. Here's your copper, even because Uranus is turning retrograde last night. Here's your copper here, and we're going to
take a break, Norm. We're going to take a break here. We'll come back and do copper, okay?
All righty.
Yeah, stay with us. 877-927-6648.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Basil Chapman will be giving a 2-series webinar Wednesday, August 2nd and Wednesday, August 16th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Can sector rotation buoy the market into 2018? Each time the market feels it's ready to have a sharp decline, formerly weak sectors rally to hold the market up. This 2-webinar series will be free for Basil's opening call subscribers, and non-subscribers will also receive his daily newsletter for 1 month free as a trial subscription. Sign up for a 30-day free trial to Basil's daily newsletter, The Opening Call, and gain access to his subscriber-only webinar on August 2nd and Wednesday, August 16th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Can sector rotation buoy the market into 2018?
Hi everyone, this is Basil Chapman, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at my webinar series.
To sign up for a 30-day free trial to Basil's daily newsletter and gain access to Basil's webinar, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back with Norm Winsky. Norm, fire away, buddy. We want to take care of copper, and we also want to take care of the bonds too, if we could do that.
Righto. Well, okay, we're a little short on time, I think. So I'm going to do this quickly. The folks can call me and see this stuff in depth. So I'd mentioned that we got a multiple big window here for copper over the next several days. Last night is potentially big for copper because Uranus turned retrograde. Uranus has to do with copper. Also, if you're trading the stocks, which I don't recommend doing because I think you're bad. The odds are against you there. But anyway, it's electronics, anything electrical. It has to do with Uranus. So that's all involved in the next several days, Uranus and Aquarius. We got a lunar eclipse in Aquarius. And also there's another Uranus event coming early next week too. I think on the 8th. The night of right around the 7th, 8th. All right, so there's your copper chart. Obviously, it's getting not quite there yet, but getting close to being parabolic, which if you ever got there, that's the death dance, as you know, Larry. And so, if you start going near 90 degrees, that's usually a sign the market is about to collapse, all right? So anyway, there's your T-bonds. T-bonds have been moving up. I said in my letter over the last weekend, we were back there. We were right on the bottom of this channel here. And that we should bounce, and I think we got to bounce. And so now tomorrow we have Jupiter 90 to Pluto. Pluto has to do with bonds. And so tomorrow should be a key date for bonds. Also, the lunar eclipse affects financials. And so the bonds could be influenced by the lunar eclipse. And also we have another big date, as I mentioned earlier, the night of the 8th, when Jupiter will be forming a key angle to the U.S. chart. And so that would be U.S. stocks, bonds, and in particular the dollar. So there's your bond chart there. And I think you go back and retest this high maybe next day or so.
We've had several requests already this morning for you to come on the 21st of August. Would you be able to do that, the day of the eclipse?
I can do that. Wait, we can get my contact info on here.
Okay, it's up here. You'll be able to see it, folks. Here's how you contact Norm.
Get the free letter and a free class. Thanks, Larry.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock in option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.